10,000 people stand on the road by the sea. 1,000 people come onto the sand. 100 people go to the waves and wet their feet. 10 people swim into the ocean. Only one person dives down, gets the oyster and sees the pearl inside. I think finally all of us want to do is make an impact on the world in some way, and the only way to be remembered is via stories. My name is Krishna Trilok. I'm a writer. I would think of myself as a storyteller. The love affair with stories, I think, started when I was really, really young. My grandmother, she was a fantastic storyteller. When I was around 13 or 14, I realized that I wasn't really cut out for the academic world. I wasn't very good at other extracurriculars either. So I was just wondering, what do I want to do? What is it that I'm good at? What could I just lose myself in? I loved reading books, and I decided that, hey, why don't I just start writing? I got a notebook and I just started writing one day, saying, let me see if I can write a book. Let me just see where it goes. I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want anyone telling me I couldn't do it. As fate would have it, I met a lady who was a literary agent at a party somewhere, and she said, just send me your work. And she was just blown away by it, and she said, I really, really like this. I want to be your agent. I want to represent you. Then publishers, we pitched around to them, a lot of rejection. But then finally, a publisher did say yes. Finally, we found someone, and that's how it started out. So when you have a person like this, really the top of the game in Mr. A.R. Rahman, and to be able to tell his story, I wanted to ensure that every struggling musician, every struggling artist, every struggling whatever it is, needs to feel inspired and say that, I'm going to keep going. Instead of thinking of yourself as a writer, as I said, look at yourself as a storyteller and just talk. What you absorb, your output should just be conversation. Don't try to be high funda, don't try to be intellectual, don't try to be a highbrow. To be a good storyteller, first you need to be a good listener. You need to be a good observer. You need to be empathetic. Actually, your writing ability comes second. As far as education for writing exclusively is concerned, I would say the best education would be reading, and the second best would be watching movies. Watch it with the eye of a writer. Watch it to see how the plot is moving and how they're doing what they do. Start writing after you've written maybe a few short stories and you're sure about your ability to start and finish a story and your language is sound and all of that. Then you can maybe go into a writing school somewhere, because then it becomes about refining what you already know. It can take a good or a competent person and take them up to the next level. It can help you. It cannot make you. So I would highly, highly recommend an agent, especially when you're a beginner. And please prepare a synopsis. That's the first step. It could be, even if you're going directly to a publisher, the first thing you need in place is your synopsis. And send them a couple of chapters so that they know that you can write. The best would be to just send off an email or just arrive at the office of whoever you want to meet. You have a purpose, you need something done, just go after it. Be thick-skinned if you have to. Show up at people's front doors, get numbers and send. And it's not something which I did when I was younger. It's something I continue to do to this day. I cannot with all honesty ever say that one day if you work hard enough, one day if you hang in there long enough, there's never going to be rejection. There will always be rejection, no matter how big a player you are, no matter what industry you're in. What you can do is stop giving the rejection the power over you. This is where you need to realize that your work doesn't come from you, it comes through you. You are not the creator of anything, you are just channeling from a higher space. The uncertainty of sitting alone in a room and not knowing what was going to happen at the end of it, it's very, very lonely. That can upset you, it can frustrate you. There are times when you will feel that, where is this going? But that's where it's very of utmost significance to say that this is the path I've chosen and I have to stay true to it and I have to be serious to it. Now, there is a very, very old, it's in the Rig Veda, our custom, it's called Dinacharya. What it translates to is, whatever you want to see growth in, you have to do it every day. I think we all get into writing and music because there was something we read or listened to or heard that changed something about the way we think. And for you to put out something that is going to change the way someone else thinks, unless you're going to devote a lot of time and attention to it and nurture it, it's not going to happen. When are you going to fall in love with the profession and not with any one thing in that profession? That is very, very key. If you're saying, I love writing, then you need to love all kinds of writing. Every profession is lucrative. So find a way in which you can balance doing what you love with what is also going to keep you going. You can get into journalism, you can get into magazine writing, you can write travelogues, you can write product reviews, you can write brand stories, you can get into advertising and write copy for advertising. So many things. I think we all have a duty to give back. You need to be able to make sure that you have impacted, touched someone's day, someone's world, someone's life, and made it slightly better, and maybe even inspire them to do the same. And when that actually happens, and when you feel like someone has been touched by your work in any way, that is the ultimate happiness. When you find peace in something that you are doing, trust me, somehow things fall into place. Bhagavad Gita, if you read it, it's called Karma Yoga. When you become numb to everything that's going on around you, and you just become one with whatever you're doing. For me, that is writing because it let me just drop everything to do with the real world. And it let me be other people, it let me see other worlds. And if you can get that level of immersion in anything at all, that is magic. Finding your purpose is really difficult step, but I don't mean to put you off, but it's only step one. People will ignore you, then people will reject you, then people will finally accept you, then you go back to square one and start all over again.